Welcome in, people. So I'm gonna do something different besides watching the Addict video. Uh, that's the last Hazbin thing I gotta do. But I'm gonna do a preamble thing, a little preamble, before we begin. I'm gonna read a chapter of my favorite science fiction novel, which I like more than Hazbin Hotel. Sue me. Okay, backdrop. Let's begin. We got goddamn 10 pages of this. You're gonna be hearing my voice and you're gonna get sick of it, alright? Okay. Fuck. Okay. A Boy and His Dog. Read to you by me. Written by Harlan Ellison. Chapter 1. I was out with Blood, my dog. It was his week for annoying me. He kept calling me Albert. He thought it was pretty damned funny. Payson Tribune? Ha ha. I caught a couple of water rats for him, the big green ochre ones, and someone's manicured poodle leash lost off a leash in one of the down numbers. He'd eaten pretty good, but he was cranky. Come on, you son of a bitch, I demanded. Find me a piece of ass. Blood chuckled deep in his dog throat. You get funny when you're... Oh, fuck. You're funny when you get horny, he said. Maybe funny enough to kick him upside his asshole sphincter. That refuge from a dingo heap. Fine, I ain't kidding. For shame, Albert, after all I've taught you. Oh, not I ain't kidding, I'm not kidding. He knew I've reached the edge of my patience. Suddenly, he started casting. He sat down on the crumbled remains of the curb, and his eyeballs flickered and closed, and his hairy body tensed. After all, he settled down on his front paws and scratched them forward till he was lying flat, his shaggy head on the outstretched paws. The tension left him. He began trembling, almost the way he trembled just prematurely to scratching a flea. It went on that way for almost a quarter of an hour, and finally he rolled over and laid on his back, his naked belly toward the night sky, his front paws folded menace-like, his hind legs extended and open. I am sorry, he said. There's nothing. I could have gone mad and booted him, but I knew he tried. I wasn't happy about it. I really wanted to get laid, but what could I do? Okay, I said. Recognition. Forget it. He kicked himself onto his side and quickly got up. What do you want to do? He asked. Not much we could do, is there? I was more than a little sarcastic. He sat down again at my feet, innocently humble. I leaned against the melted stub of a lamppost and thought about girls. It was painful. We can always go to a show, I said. Blood looked around the street at the pools of shadow lying in the weed overgrown curves. I didn't say anything. The whelp was waiting for me to say, okay, let's go. He liked movies as much as I did. Okay, let's go. He got up and followed me, his tongue hanging, panting with happiness. Go ahead and laugh, you egg sucker. No popcorn for you. Our gang was a rover pack that had never been able to cut it simply foraging, so they'd opt for comfort and gone a smart way to getting it. They were movie-oriented kids, and they'd taken over the turf where the metropole, or the altar, was located. No one tried to bust their turf because we all needed the movies, and as long as our gang had access to films and did a better job of keeping the films going, they provided a service, even for solos like me and Blood. Especially for solos like us. They made me check my 45 and the Browning 22 long at the door. There was a little alcove right beside the ticket booth. I brought my tickets. First, it cost me a can of Oscar Mayer Philadelphia Scrapple for me and a tin of sardines for Blood. The gang guards with the Bren guns motioned me over to the alcove. I checked my heat. I saw water leaking from a broken pipe in the ceiling, and I told the checker, a kid with big leathery warts all over his face and lips, to move my weapon where it was dry. He ignored me. Hey, you motherfucking toad, move my stuff over the other side. It goes to rust fast, and it picks up ace. It'll spots, man, I'll break your bones. He started to give me a jaw about it, looked at the guards with the Brens. Knew if they tossed me out, I'd lose my piece of a mission wherever I went in or not. But they weren't looking for any action, probably under strength, and gave him the nod to let pass, to do what I said. So the toad moved my Browning to the under end of the gun rack and pegged my 45 under it. Blood and me went into the theater. I want popcorn. Forget it. Come on, Albert, buy me popcorn. I'm tapped out. You can live without popcorn. Well, you're just being a shit. I shrugged. Sue me. We went in. The place was jammed. I was glad the guards hadn't tried to take anything but guns. My spike and I felt all reassuringly lining up in their oiled sheaths at the back of my neck. Blood found two together, and we moved into the row, stepping on feet. Someone cursed, and I ignored him. The Doberman growled. Blood first stirred, but he let it pass. There was always some hard case on the muscle, even on neutral ground like the Metropole. I heard once about a get-it-on they'd had at the old Lowry Granza on the south side. Round up with 10 or 12 rovers and their mutts dead. The theater burnt down and a couple of good Carnegie films lost in the fire. After that was when the rover packs had got up the agreement that movie houses were sanctuaries. It was better now, but there was always somebody too messed up in the mind to come soft. It was a triple feature. Raw deal with Dennis O'Keefe, Clary Trevor, Raymond Burr, and Marsha Hunt. Was the oldest of the three. It'd been made back in 1948. 86 years ago. God only knows how the damn thing hung together all that time. It slipped sprockets and they had to stop the movie all the time to re-thread it. But it was a good movie. About the solar who'd been jumped by his rover pack and was out to get revenge. Gangsters, mobs, a lot of punching and fighting. Real good. The mill flick was a thing made during the Third War. 27 years before I was even born. Thing called Smell of a Chink. It was mostly gut spilling and some nice hand-to-hand, beautiful scene of skirmisher greyhounds equipped with napalm throwers jelly burning a chink town. Blood dug even though we'd seen this flick before. He had some kind of phony shack going on that these were his ancestors, and he knew and I knew he was making it up. Wanna burn a baby hero? I whispered to him. He had the bob and just shifted in his seat. Didn't say a thing, kept looking pleased that the dogs worked their way through the town. I was bored stiff. I was waiting for the main feature. Finally, it came on. It was a Beauty and Beaver flick made in the late 70s. It was called Big Black Leather Splits. Started right out very good. These two blondes in black leather corsets and boots laced all the way to their crotches with whips and masks. Got the skinny died down, and one of the chicks sat on his face while the other one went down on him. It got really hairy after that. All around me, these solos were playing with themselves. I was about to jog it a little myself when Blood leaned across and said real soft, the way he does when he's onto something. Usually he's smelling. There's a chicken here. You're nuts, I said. I tell you, I smell her. She's in here, man. Without being conspicuous, I look around. Almost every seat in the theater was taken with solos and their dogs. If a chick had slipped in, they'd have been a riot. She'd have been ripped to pieces before any single guy could have gone on to her. Where? I asked softly. All around me, the solos were beating off, moaning as the blondes took off their masks, and one of them worked the skinny guy with a big wooden rams around her hips. Give me a minute, Blood said. He was really concentrating. His body was tense as a wire. His ears were closed, his muscles quivering. I let him work. It was possible, just maybe possible. I knew they made really dumb flicks in the down unders. The kind of crap they'd make back in the 30s and 40s. Real clean stuff with even married people sleeping in twin beds. Marla Loy and George Brent kind of flicks. And I knew that once in a while a chick from one of the really strict middle class down unders would cram to see what a hairy flick was like. I'd heard about it, but it never happened and placed in any theater I ever been to. And the chances of it happening in the Metropole were slim. There was a lot of twisty trade came to Metropole. Now understand, I'm not specifically prejudiced against guys coming on another. Hell, I can understand it. There just aren't enough chicks anymore. But I can't cut the jockey and boxer scene because it gets some weak little boxer hanging on you, getting jealous. You have to hunt for him, and all he thinks he has to do is bare his ass to get all the work done for him. It's as bad as having a chick dragging along behind. Made for a lot of bad blood and fights between the bigger rover packs, too. So I never swung that way. Well, not never, but not for a long time. So with all the twists in the Metropole, I didn't think a chick would chance it. Be a toss-up who'd tear her apart first, the boxers or the straights. And if she was here, why couldn't any other dog smell her? Third row in front of us, Blitzen. Aisle seat, dressed like a solo. How's come you can lift her up and no other dog caught her? You forget who I am, Albert. I didn't forget, I just don't believe it. Actually, bottom line, I guess I did believe it. When you'd been as dumb as I'd been, and the dog like Bloods taught me so much, a guy came to believe everything he said. You don't argue with your teacher. Not when he's taught you how to read and write and add and subtract everything else that used to mean that you were smart, but didn't mean much of anything. Now, except it's good to know, I guess. The reading's a pretty good thing. It came in handy when you can find some canned goods someplace like a bombed out supermarket. Makes it easier to pick off stuff like when the pictures are gone off the labels. A couple of times the reading stopped me from taking canned beets. Shit, I hate beets. So I guess I did believe Likey could maybe with a chip in there. No other mutt could. He told me all about a million times. It was his favorite story. History, all that. Christ, I'm not that dumb. I know what history was. That was all the stuff that happened before now. But I liked hearing history straight from Blood, instead of him making me read one of those crummy books he'd always drag in. And the particular history was all about him, so he laid it on me over and over till I knew it by heart. No, the word was wrote, not wrote like writing. That was something else. I knew it by rote, means you got it word for word. And when a mutt teaches you everything you know and he tells you something rote, I guess finally you do believe it. Except I never let that leg lift and know it. That's the end of chapter 1. Alright, that was fun. That was a nice little preamble before I started. Took 14 minutes. But that was a nice preamble. I wanted to get that off. Do something different. And I mean, plus every YouTuber with a reaction series has seen this video, so I thought I'd just do that.
till death do us part.
But you're already past that phase.
This is a brand new start.
I guess the song's alright. But it kinda does mess with the tone that Hazbin Hotel's pilot had. I mean, it could change, like it's a pilot. It could be something.
I've let my emotions go. Fuck being a sober hoe. This is the mantra. This is my life. You're playing with now till the end of the night. Surrounded by fire, the passion ignites. A hit at that heaven and hell. I'm addicted to the madness.
Look, it's the stuff that conflicts with the tone of the pilot. The Molotovs, even though those use gasoline, not alcohol. I think that's a misconception. Like, Molotovs work with alcohol and not gasoline. I mean, I'd use gas because that's more efficient. Oh yeah, do the dancing, little demon boy, yeah. I love the dancing. Yeah, look at this. Lesbians, yeah. German. Oh. Oh look, it's a character from that Zootopia shit or something. So count your blessings, cause this is it. You're not letting it go. So what if I misbehave? It's what everybody craves. You already know. So come if you're feeling brave and fancy yourself a mate. You want it, I got it. See what you like. We can have it all by the end of the night. Your money and power, my simple delight. I hate it, the heaven and hell, and I'll live away. I'm addicted to what? What's magic? Is that a euphemism? Is it some kick-ass drug that you guys take? Also, why compare it to Atlantis? Atlantis sunk, dumbass. Haven't you guys seen the Disney film? This place sunk. Oh yeah, also something, symbolism, whatever. I got like a lot of shit to do today. Oh, what's it? Let's go get the Rule 34 fires are burning, mate. Yeah, I know why this is allowed on YouTube, mate. I guess if you don't show nudity, you can do whatever the hell you want. Yeah. Fish. Oh my god, colors that aren't red? What is this, a different show? What in the ghost of Harlan Ellison is that? Alright, we're done. Thank God. We gotta do it. Yeah. There's another rush of poison flowing into my veins, giving me a dose of pleasure that resides by the pain. I'm addicted. Oh, that's that pig. Looking awesome, feeling hell. Suck it, dogs are awesome. Raising Cain by every highway in hell. Maybe things won't be so highway to hell. This hotel. No one's seen ACDC. Alright, we're done. Thank God. I mean, symbolism, drug addict, rape? I quick, I act like this was a thing I haven't seen before. Oh my God, he got a Piggy Angry Buds, man. The Angry Buds. I wonder if that's gonna have a comeback. Anyways, so that was the video. Thanks. If you're here because of my preamble reading, thanks. That was fun to read. I love that book to bits. I just need to balance it out because I know I'm making no 5-minute video about a video that you've already seen by tons of YouTubers. Well, anyways, bye. Laters. Good day. Good night. Piss off. That's about it.